Hey, everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Okay, folks, we have to start with some big news coming out from President Trump related to housing and kind of bailing out the housing industry to make homes more affordable and to drop mortgage rates. Now, I know many of you are going to say, Tony, what does this have to do with crypto? Well, it's Trump's own form of QE, quantitative easing. So let me give you the details and we'll talk about the implications of this. So Trump says he's instructing unnamed representatives to buy $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities in a bid to narrow mortgage spreads and bring down rates. Now, if you recall, just yesterday or the day before, he said he was raising the defense budget from 1 trillion to 1.5 trillion. Do you see what's happening here? Same story, different cycle. Because this is the fiat system. They have to keep raising the debts and the limits and so forth. They got to keep printing more money. So this is why I'm sharing the news with you, because we know that as they continue to print and debase the currency and there's more liquidity, that will send asset prices higher. So we know the Fed is officially in the QE phase, and they talked about buying 40 billion in treasury bonds and so forth. And then you got Trump doing his own thing. And this is happening before Jerome Powell leaves office. And imagine when Trump gets his pick, his Fed chair in office. They're going to cut rates like crazy and they're going to print, guys. It's the same story. And this is why you have to make sure you have a long-term view on the markets. Here's what user Geiger Capital on X said. Trump is launching his own QE, buying mortgage-backed securities via Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. You are not bullish enough. So again, if you understand the implications of all these things, folks, it's going to have a positive impact on the asset prices. Now, in the short term, we could continue to see volatility. We all know that tomorrow we're going to hear from the Supreme Court about Trump's tariffs. We'll see what the impact of that is and what type of news we get and see how things play out. But I am anticipating that we are going to see a major rally. The big question is that simply a relief rally and then we roll over to a bear market, or we continue to new all-time highs? Now, we could see a rally that corrects and then continues higher. So we're just going to have to wait and see, honestly. I don't think anybody knows definitively what is going to happen next. If they do, please ask them for next week's winning lottery numbers. Now, earlier in the week, we talked about Morgan Stanley filing for Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum ETFs. Well, we got more news about their crypto plans. So they are looking to launch a crypto wallet in the second half of 2026. Folks, think about that. Morgan Stanley is launching a crypto wallet. What a time to be alive, folks. It's incredible. All the things we've been talking about for years, it is coming to fruition. All the TradFi institutions are bending the knee. They're adopting the technology. It's inevitable, right? So it's amazing what is taking place. Let me give you some details. 2 years after acknowledging a paradigm shift in traditional finance, Morgan Stanley continues its about face on cryptocurrency. The investment banking giant plans to launch Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana trading on its E-Trade platform in the first half of this year, alongside plans for a proprietary digital wallet. Here's a quote. "This is really a recognition that the way that financial service infrastructure works is going to change," Jed Finn, Morgan Stanley's head of wealth management, told Barron's. "Over time, as our infrastructure develops, we'll be able to do more with the blending of the traditional finance or TradFi and decentralized finance or DeFi ecosystems." There it is, folks. There it is, the convergence of DeFi and TradFi, and we know all the assets are going on chain. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, said, "Tokenization is the future of finance." And this is not just a Wall Street or US movement. This is a global movement. So it's what I've been telling you guys. The future markets, economies, and governments will all run on blockchain rails. That is where we're headed to, the token economy, which I've talked a lot about over the years, folks. So I hope you recognize what's happening here, and the price action, the short-term price action is not blinding you from the thesis, right? And having that macro outlook, because you can imagine the valuations of these coins and blockchains are only going to continue to grow higher as more capital comes in, more building, more adoption, so on and so forth. Folks, this episode is brought to you by Trezor, which makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to self-custody your assets. Now, Trezor, they were the pioneers of hardware wallets and the seed phrase setup. They started it all back in 2013. So they have an incredible pedigree in this space. And not to mention, their hardware wallets are open source. The code is out there for anybody to review. That's how much they trust what they've built. And, they continue to raise the standard with regards to security. And they have a new device called the Trezor Safe 7, which is quantum ready. It has top of the level security, new chip, and much more. And Trezor devices, they support all the major assets. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, you name it. You go down the list, they support it, even new tokens. You also have a great software called Trezor Suite, which helps you to manage all of this in the device and with your mobile phone or your desktop. And you can buy and sell within that software as well. And they also have a hand-holding service. So if you want to talk to a Trezor rep to help you set up your device, they have that service available. Don't worry, they don't ask you for your private keys. I'm a user of the device, so I personally use the Trezor Safe 5 and the Trezor Safe 7. So folks, great devices. They're very beautiful. Many of you recently may have seen my unboxing video of the Trezor Safe 7. And if you use my code, Thinking Crypto, all one word, Thinking Crypto, you can get 5% off your purchase. So be sure to check it out. Link will be in the description. Okay, we have some very big news around the Canton network. Many of you know I've been telling you all about this project for a long time, and most recently the DTCC announced they were going to tokenize on the Canton network. Well, look at this. Temple Digital Group launches 24/7 institutional trading built on Canton. So huge adoption. Many of you may have caught my interview with Yuval Rose, who is the co-founder and CEO of Digital Asset. That's the name of the firm. They're the ones working on the Canton network. And Canton network is backed by major institutions like Goldman Sachs and other Wall Street firms. So Temple Digital Group has launched a private institutional trading platform built on the Canton network, offering continuous 24/7 trading of digital assets using a central limit order book and non-custodial market structure. According to an announcement shared on Cointelegraph on Thursday, the platform supports trading in cryptocurrencies and stablecoins and is designed to allow institutions to transact with approved counterparties while maintaining privacy and regulatory oversight, with participants retaining custody of assets rather than relying on a central intermediary. Now, if you don't know Canton, they built a public blockchain that has privacy built in, so it doesn't need any third-party integration, ZK or anything like that. It has it natively built in, so that's the differentiator, and it's built by a lot of these big firms. So something to pay attention to here, guys. Again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go invest in the project. I'm just saying watch it, think about it, research it, and if you choose to invest, then, obviously do what you got to do. So the system is built around a price priority central limit order book with sub-second matching and includes execution monitoring and transaction cost analysis tools intended for institutional trading desks, the company said. So the platform is live and onboarding institutional users, including asset managers, market makers, and financial institutions, with support for tokenized equities and commodities planned for 2026. Huge adoption news here. Okay, moving ahead, we got a lot of acquisition news, which is really good. It's a healthy sign. So Coincheck to acquire digital asset manager 3iQ in a $112 million stock deal. So Coincheck Group, the NASDAQ-listed holding company behind one of Japan's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has agreed to acquire a 97% stake in Canadian digital asset manager 3iQ from its majority owner Monex Group. The stock purchase transaction values 3iQ at $111.84 million, using Coincheck Group's shares priced at $4 each. Coincheck Group said it intends to offer the same terms to 3iQ's minority shareholders, which should give it full ownership if the deal is completed. The deal is expected to close in the second quarter, subject to regulatory approvals and other customary conditions. So folks, we're going to see more of this once the Clarity Act passes, the market structure bill, because you're going to see TradFi try to buy crypto native firms and vice versa. So don't be surprised when you start to see major acquisitions and then companies start to go public doing IPOs and much more. So incredible news here. Here's another one. Fireblocks buys crypto accounting firm Tress for $130 million. So it's TRES, if I'm saying that right. So Fireblocks, many of you may know that brand. They're one of the top digital asset infrastructure custodial company. So digital asset infrastructure company Fireblocks has spent $130 million to acquire crypto accounting firm Tress, tapping the company for its tax compliance infrastructure to support institutions. Fireblocks said on Wednesday that with stablecoin settlements exceeding hundreds of billions monthly, the enterprises running entire treasury flows on chain, there is a strong need for sufficient blockchain accounting protocols to remain compliant. Here they said both crypto native firms and traditional institutions need clear, accurate accounting and auditability. By offering Tress and Fireblocks together, customers can now run both their digital asset operations and get financial intelligence they need on one secure, compliance, scalable stack, said Fireblocks CEO Michael Shalov. If I'm saying that right. So guys, we're seeing the white glove service, the data, the analytics, all the bells and whistles that exist for the TradFi industry being built for crypto. And notice it's being built for institutions, right? To allow more money to come in, folks. So again, make sure you have the macro view on this market. We are seeing the infrastructure being set up here, the piping, right? Plus you have the macro factors of liquidity and quantitative easing. You know, we started the podcast talking about Trump and what he's going to do there, and the Fed and much more. So all these things are going to dovetail together and drive the prices higher. But patience is the key. Now look at this adoption news. This is big. Shout out to my Floridians. Florida becomes the latest state to pursue Bitcoin reserve ahead of 2026 session. So we saw other states already start to do this, Texas, Arizona, and others. And we often talk about it, game theory, right? No one's going to be left behind here. They're all going to want to get on board. And, these states are going to look at how they can invest in crypto. And the ETFs have made it very easy for them to do that. So the bill walls off Bitcoin holdings in a standalone reserve, avoiding direct exposure across pensions and other state funds. Florida joins a small group of states beginning to move Bitcoin policy from legislation toward early execution, albeit through different models. One by one, they're going to come on board. There may be a point where the FOMO really kicks in and they all jump in, or a handful of them jump in at the same time. But things are moving in the right direction here. Now look at this. CFTC issues no action relief clearing Bitnomial to offer event contracts. So divisions within the CFTC have given the green light for crypto-focused exchange Bitnomial to offer event contracts. So we know Mike Seelig was recently confirmed as CFTC chair. So we're starting to see continued progress. Shout out to Caroline Pham, who was the acting chair, did an amazing job. And we're seeing both the SEC and the CFTC continue to provide clarity, which is really great. Now, here's some good news, and I'm really happy to hear this. Trump says he has no plans to pardon jailed FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. You know, there's not too many things that would get me that pissed off, but if Trump did this, I would be really pissed off. And it would really, really be a bad look for Trump. I mean, horrible optics, right? But thank goodness he's not pardoning Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried needs to stay in jail along with Alex Mashinsky. These guys stole people's money. And it wasn't, there was no accident here. They knew what they were doing. And even though Sam Bankman-Fried's been tweeting at Trump and trying to kiss ass as much as possible, he needs to stay in jail. So this is great. I'm really happy Trump is not doing this. Final news item, Solana Mobile to launch SKR token for Seeker phone on January 21st. So we've been hearing a lot of details about this SKR token, and it looks like we have a launch date here. This is something I'm going to check out and see if it's worth using, and check out the token as well. And we'll see how it does. You know, the phone market is very competitive, but if you're offering some sort of incentive like a token or some major differentiator on the phone that maybe it's, very Web3 crypto friendly, that could attract a lot of people, but we're going to have to wait and see. Solana has done some phones in the past. I don't think they've been as successful, but, that doesn't mean that ultimately they can't get success. But, it's a hard thing to crack, because the majority of the population around the world, they're not fully educated about blockchain and crypto. Some people are just scared and intimidated. Some think it's a scam. Some are like, oh, well, I don't care, right? but there will come a point where they will care. There will come a point where people get educated and they're going to want to have these things. And again, if you have a token, that's a great incentive. So let me give you some details. Solana Mobile said its highly anticipated SKR token will launch on January 21st, with Solana Seeker smartphone users in the running to claim up to 20% of the token via airdrop. Solana said on Wednesday that SKR would launch on January 21st at 2 a.m. UTC time, letting users delegate their tokens to guardians who will secure the Solana network while verifying devices and curating the decentralized app store. So users will earn rewards in exchange for delegating the tokens and will also be able to access various exclusive in-app features. So interesting. Let's see how it goes. I might try to get one of these and see if I can participate and get the tokens. Right? You never know, guys. But I'll give you guys the details once I do. Figure this out. So folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't as yet. Please support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. Be sure to grab a copy. And if you want to expand your knowledge about crypto, be sure to check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.